Let us see, let us discuss about the sexuality of organisms, especially in plants and animals. So dear friends, what is sexuality? Sexuality is nothing but the sex of an organism. So in general, all sexually reproducing organisms exhibit sexual dimorphism. What is the sexual dimorphism? It is nothing but the phenotypic differences between the sexes. That is, you can easily identify which is a male and which is a female looking at the morphology. If a species is exhibiting sexual dimorphism, the phenotype of male is different from the phenotype of the female. Now, based on the sexuality, plants are classified into two types, bisexual and unisexual. So, what do you mean by bisexual? Yes, both the male and the female reproductive structures are present on the same plant. Male and female reproductive structures are located on the same plant, then such plant is called as bisexual plant. Example, sweet potato. Now, unisexual. In unisexuals, the male and female reproductive structures are present on different plants. They are present on different plants. That means a male flower will only contain the male reproductive structure and the female flower will only contain the female reproductive structure. And such flowers that carry only male reproductive structure is called as a staminate flower, and a flower that carries only the female reproductive structure is called as a pistillate flower. Remember, staminate flower is nothing but a male flower, pistillate flower is nothing but a female flower. Now, based on the type of flowers that are present on a plant's sexuality is defined as monoecious condition or dioecious condition. In monoecious condition, both male and female flowers are present on the same plant. That means the male flower, so if this is your plant, this is the male flower and this is the female flower. That means the flower itself is unisexual, but both male and female flowers are located on the same plant. Such condition is called as monoecious condition. Examples, cucurbita and coconut. Now, if you look at this image, you can easily understand. This is the example of cucurbita image and this is the image of coconut flower. Okay. So, you can see here for the same stem, on one side you have female flower, on the other side you have the male flower. Whereas in coconut, it has a combination of both male and the female flower. So, coconuts has a special type of inflorescence where you have female flowers at one end and the male flowers on the other end. Now, such plants are called as monoecious in condition. Monoecious condition, both male and female flowers located on the same plant, either in a bisexual form or unisexual form. Now, what is this dioecious condition? Dioecious means two. The male and female flowers are present on separate plants of a same species. Examples, papaya and date palm. So, in a dioecious condition, one species, you say you take papaya, will have two different plants. One is the male plant, other one is the female plant. Male plant will exclusively carry the male flower, female plant will exclusively carry the female flower. Let us have a look at this example. This is the papaya, the female and the male. Papaya, the female. This is the female flower and this is the male flower. They are not located on the same plant, they are located on different plants. So, the female papaya will carry only the female flowers, the male papaya plant will carry only the male flowers, right. So, this means each species will have two plants, one is a male plant and the other one is a female plant. That condition is otherwise called as dioecious condition. Another example of dioecious condition is the date palm. You can see here, this is the date palm, this is the male flower of the date palm, this is the female flower of the date palm. One more example from the lower plants, that is bryophytes, is Marchantia. Marchantia, you have the female reproductive structure on separate thalli and the male reproductive structure on a different thallus, right. Archegonium is the female and Anthrazoid is the male. Now, let us try to identify these images which are from NCERT. So, the first one, as usual, this is your Marchantia. It is the lower bryophyte. It is exhibiting dioecious condition. The female thallus and the male thallus. Now, the example, another example here, that is Cara. This is an example of Cara. Cara is a kind of algae where it is carrying both the male and the female sex organs on the same plant. So, Cara is an example of, yes, monoecious condition. Monoecious condition, Cara, a kind of algae. Now, coming to this one, this is also an example of monoecious condition, sweet potato. It is showing both the reproductive structures, the male, the stamens, as well as the female, the pistil on the same. It is, sweet potato is an example of bisexual flower, right. Now, if we have to talk about sexuality in fungi, it is a little different terminology we have to use. As fungi, we all know, is an undifferentiated plant body. The plant body of fungus is termed as thallus. So, here the fungus that produces both male and female reproductive structures on the same thallus, monoecious condition like plant, is known as homothallic. So, remember, monoecious condition of plant is nothing but homothallic condition in fungi, that is, the male and the female are produced on the same thallus, that is homothallic. Now, coming to the heterothallic condition. In this heterothallic condition, the fungi will have two different thalli. One will exclusively produce the female reproductive structures and the second thallus will exclusively produce male reproductive structures, right. So, monoecious condition of plant is equal to homothallic condition of fungus, dioecious condition of plant is equal to heterothallic condition of fungus. Now, let us talk a bit about the sexuality in animals. In animals, often animals exhibit sexual dimorphism, or animals often exhibit sexual dimorphism. That means, male and female are exclusive, they are differentiated, they have different morphologies, but certain animals, they exhibit bisexual condition. In animals, we call it as hermaphroditic condition. A hermaphroditic animal possesses both male and the female reproductive structures in the same individual. Example, earthworms, sponge, tapeworm and leech. And those animals which exhibit sexual dimorphism are called as unisexuals. In such condition, each animal will have exclusively male or exclusively female reproductive structures. And we should note that majority of the animals are unisexuals, right? Now, let us have a look at the NCERT images. So, this is the example of earthworm. Earthworm is known for its bisexuality, that is hermaphrodite condition. You have ovaries, the female reproductive structures, as well as testes, the male reproductive structures within the same organism. Now, the next one, this is an example of unisexuality, cockroach. In cockroach, you can see one cockroach, the male cockroach exclusively carries testis and the female cockroach exclusively carries the ovary. So, cockroach is an example of unisexual organism, right? That is all about the sexuality.